What's up, guys? We're gonna check in with Adam, one of the founders of Blind Barber. They're a speakeasy bar, a hair salon, and they've got their own hair care and skincare line being sold online around the world. I stopped by their shop in New York early in their global journey, and as you can see, I grab a haircut, a beverage, and I talk to Adam about global expansion. I hit them up again recently for yet another haircut and to learn how they're building and managing their distributor and direct sales relationships around the world. Let's check it out now. I'm Josh Halpern, former U.S. diplomat, helping entrepreneurs sell to the billions of consumers overseas. We're living in a time of unprecedented opportunity for small businesses that know how to optimize their e-commerce channels. Find out how some fail, some succeed, and how you can leapfrog the competition. This is Vanbassador. Tell us about Blind Barber. What is Blind Barber? How did you get started?
Yeah, it's been around for 10 years. It started off as a little barber shop with a hidden bar in the East Village in New York City. That was about 10 years ago. And like I said, just a little barber shop in the front. And then we had a hidden speakeasy cocktail lounge behind the barber shop. Since then, we've expanded to 6 locations around the country. In Los Angeles, we have 2 locations. We have a location in Chicago and Philadelphia. And then we also have partnered with the Moxie Hotel in Times Square to have a barbershop there. All along the way, over the last 8.5 years, I would say, we've been running a men's grooming product line. It was more than just a barbershop and more than just a bar. It was a place where people would come and feel a sense of community and camaraderie. The goal was, a lot of, salons, women would come in and have a glass of wine and hang out and really have an enjoyable experience, as opposed to the barber shop was more seen as like kind of an in and out quick experience at the time. So we wanted to create that kind of salon experience and add a little fun into the barber shop.
Can you describe the connection from a product perspective between the bar and how it inspires your products, and what is unique to your products, so that people understand it's not just a gimmick, there's actually a really unique attribute to your product?
Basically, with the products, we wanted to bottle up our concept and have people be able to take something home. When you go to a bar or barbershop, you typically don't bring anything home. It's an experience, besides yourself. So we wanted there to be a way for people to bring something home. So all the grooming products are infused with some sort of alcoholic beneficial ingredient. The hair products are infused with hops, the pomades, which is obviously from beer and acts as a natural thickening agent. And then a lot of our face products are infused with juniper berry, which is a main ingredient in gin. So that kind of brought our concept together. And then also our hair products, it was more at the core of our concept at the beginning when we were trying to make a name for ourselves in the grooming industry. We still are, but now I think we've become more of a comprehensive, developed grooming line where we don't market the bar as much, and we want to more market that we have quality grooming products and, that are made in a barber shop. And, we do have the bar as part of the marketing story, but like for us, it's about, sitting on the shelf next to all these other grooming brands that don't have a location or a bar or a unique concept. And we want to, our products to not stand alone, but stand up next to those, even without kind of this unique element.
I don't know if you had a specific example of things that you might slightly tweak in a different market. Can you needle in on that a little bit? For example, I remember in China, we were looking at your product line, and I guess some of the beard and some of the very heavy beard manicuring may not apply. There aren't that many, they don't get as tangly as ours.
Yeah, like less, we were doing more shave cream in Japan because people are, shaving more and, don't, as opposed to the US now, people are kind of going with a little more scruff and beard. So yeah, the shaving cream worked a little better in Japan, and as opposed to like the beard products weren't something they were going to pick up. And then there, different styling aids that may be more appropriate for that type of hair, whether it's a light hold or a stronger hold.
So now, when you go overseas, what was the first international engagement that Blind Barber had?
I think it was in Japan. We had a Japanese distributor. I think it was about 2015-ish or 16. We had a Japanese distributor. He invited us to come out and do a pop-up barbershop at the Todd Snyder stores. Todd Snyder, it's a clothing brand based out of the US, but they had a pretty big footprint in Japan, and we sold our products out there. So we did a big event at the Todd Snyder store where we set up a barber chair, brought our barber, our products were there, and we went to Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto to different Todd Snyder stores and did a pop-up barbershop. And they set things up well in advance. Our distributor, they made Blind Barber cupcakes. They made, they kind of decked out the store. There was a coffee bar in the store that they made into more of a Blind Barber. They really rolled out the red carpet for us.
How does that translate into sales? I mean, have you seen an uptick in activities in Japan? Has anything come out of that?
That was a distributor we had a decent relationship with him for a few years. He was buying a lot of product. He was distributing it. I don't fully know what happened, but he started becoming slow on payments. It was hard to get payments or responses from him. We had, heard from other people in Japan that he wasn't distributing the products correctly and he owed us some money. So eventually we had to terminate that relationship. But we did, he did bring us out there and paid for 2 trips and helped market the Blind Barber brand. So it wasn't, all lost. We did, he did buy some products, and he also gave us a ton of marketing power and brand awareness in Japan. And then we moved on to another Japanese distributor. And it's been going well. It's probably our, next to the UK, it's probably our second biggest international channel.
I also have a question to you around that experience with your distributor. Talking about the legal issues, how did you set up that agreement initially? How did you figure out the distributor agreement? Was it unique to offline? And what were their responsibilities before we get into how it may have fallen apart?
So, yeah, we had a lawyer. We had a pretty standard distribution agreement. The amount, he did pay us for a lot of the orders, and, the money was coming in, and it's, it seemed legit because he was ordering product and he was, paying for flights and hotels and different things to have us come out there. So we were pretty confident in him. But then I guess towards the end, there was some sort of money issues or whatever, but then the relationship kind of fizzled. And, we did talk to our lawyer, but with the amount that was owed and with going through all the different channels, it may not have been worth it to chase him down for the rest of the money. And also we looked at it like the rest of the money that was, our trips far exceeded the rest of the money and the brand value that we got. So we didn't feel like we got nothing for the money that we were kind of still owed.
What could you do differently, or what would you have done differently from a contractual standpoint? Do you know anything legally that you might have done differently?
Having an out in the agreement. If someone starts not paying, that's an easy way to get out of the agreement, even if there is exclusivity. I feel like that would be in the agreement for grounds for termination. But yeah, like I said, starting out small and seeing that they pay, for the first few orders, and then, depending on, who has the leverage. If you have a lot of people, or a couple different distributors in the area that want to take on the Blind Barber product, finding the one that would prepay for the orders, as soon as they're shipped out, to send the money. We do our best to look into them and to see what kind of channels they are selling products currently and what brands they do represent. That's obviously a big factor. If we see they're representing other US brands that, kind of fall in line with our kind of vibe and our kind of aesthetic and our feeling, then, that makes a little more sense. And then, if you do have relationships with those brands or can reach out to someone, I think it'd be helpful to reach out to the people they are working with in the US and see how it's going.
Do you control pricing and map at all anywhere in the world? What if a distributor is selling for a lower price point than you'd like? Does that happen?
We do. When we have the distribution agreement with them, we do kind of come to terms, or it's not like locked in stone, but we do want them to run by what they are selling. But the prices do vary. For instance, in the UK, I know our products are a little more expensive. We obviously have the relationship with the distributor on what their wholesale cost is, but on a retail side of things, we do allow for some flexibility for the international distributors to determine that price in the market. And then, yeah, we did actually have an issue where we think with our first Mexico distributor where we're pretty sure it was them. They had bought a lot of product and then had sold it, I think, to Walmart at a cheaper price. So Walmart was selling our product in the US for a much cheaper price than we wanted. So we had to work to kind of push that product, to buy that out and push that price back up to its normal US levels. So yeah, that was the other international, potentially. We can't 100% confirm, but we're pretty sure that they kind of offloaded some of the products that they should have been distributing.
So when you say buy that out, you meant you had to buy it back from the distributor and get rid of them?
We bought it from Walmart.
Oh, you just bought it straight up from Walmart and then didn't allow the distributor to resell it back?
We tried to buy out the stock to get it back.
But then
because our pomades were being sold for $12 on Walmart and they're normally $20. And we're pretty sure Walmart was getting them from a Mexico distributor, had taken on a big order and probably wasn't able to offload it in Mexico and was able to sell it through cheaper channels on Walmart.
Again, so if you had a problem like that, you obviously, you can buy it back, which is just kind of the nuts and bolts of it, but you could actually tell the distributor, certainly you've violated our agreement.
Yes, yeah.
It was in there, right? Okay.
Yeah, they violated the agreement and we're like no longer working with them. We didn't have exclusivity, but if they had come to us with another order, we would have kind of questioned them and said, how's it going and are you selling in Walmart? But it was kind of just a big order and the relationship kind of fizzled, and then we're not 100% sure, but we're pretty sure that happened.
So for those people at home, obviously you can have your distributor set up and register trademarks as long as the agreement says that then they transfer it directly to you. And you do not need to have an entity in a country in order to register those trademarks.
I think it's been on a case-by-case basis of each distributor. But yeah, essentially we've talked to a distributor, gotten an agreement from them, ran it by our lawyer, and then, before or while we're signing the agreement, set up the appropriate protections for our brand.
Real quick, Adam, tell me a little bit about the takeaways, advice for small and medium businesses looking to get involved and grow globally, especially those that are in the professional or spa space that have product that they want to move overseas.
I think first and foremost is finding a passionate, interested partner or distributor. Like I said before, I think the main thing is having someone that's passionate about your brand and that's interested in it and is not just picking it up to move units or to just check off something on a checklist. I think the first and foremost is to develop that relationship with someone who's genuinely interested in your brand and your product and believes in your product and brand in their territory to expand it. So that would be first on my list, is to make sure you kind of find the right partner that's interested, and then also to kind of check out if that partner is legitimate. What brands do they work with? What retailers are they selling? What kind of units and volume do they expect? And then maybe, checking them out, checking out the, US brands that they do work with and sending them an email and saying, hey, I'm working with so-and-so in China. How's it been going? Do you have any sort of, as a fellow, business owner, as a fellow US business, would you give, your stamp of approval to work with this distributor? And then after that is just kind of getting a lawyer to make sure you kind of set up the agreement properly and have the protections in place and negotiating price and logistics and all that kind of stuff.
Adam, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you helping our audience figure out how to navigate global, and we hope to see you soon in a barbershop bar near you.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good day.
Okay, so what did we learn? 1, finding the right overseas partner is not just about who pays you the most. It's about who gets your brand, who has the right voice in the market and a good reputation among similar brands, and who pays you on time. 2, even if you get started with a poor performing distributor, if you have the right legal parameters in place and the benchmarks, you can separate yourself from a bad deal and still gain with in-country exposure that you can then leverage later down the road with other distributors. 3, try not to lock yourself into in-country distributor deals online. Right now, Adam's selling through online retailers and may or may not run into issues with regional distributors if his sales start to infringe on those distributor deals. 4, you can set pricing or map in certain markets and in others at least come to an unwritten understanding with distributors as to where you want the brand to be and therefore the pricing to sit. 5, be global curious. If you're out there sharing your passion with the world, you will find like-minded partners that will become partners for the long term. 6, find your tribe. Don't underestimate the value of your story, your geography. The right partner may have heard of you already, they may have heard of the town you're from. So make sure you play up your story. And remember, stay local, stay global. This is Vanbassador. Click on the video, subscribe, follow us so that you can stay local, go global. This is Vanbassador.